Yeah, return up the boom bap. Masia One right there, all the way from China in Singapore, I believe, right now, right?
No, I'm in Singapore, which is in Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia.
I was touring China in the new year. What's up, man?
Not too much. It's good to get you on the air all the way on the other side of the world right now. It's crazy. What time?
Technology is a horrible and beautiful thing.
You were saying it's like 10:30 in the morning right there?
Yeah, it is. I've been up and running since 7.
That's a trip right there. Working, keeping yourself busy. I see your posts online. You're always shooting new music videos and doing new songs and always doing shows and stuff like that. It's good to see you're very active out there in the community.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, for me, it's a culture shock. I was born in Singapore. I grew up in Canada, and now I'm kind of thrown back in the mix here. So I'm kind of taking the sensibilities of how Toronto raised me as an artist and coming back here and seeing all the opportunity and where cultures can clash and create new things.
Definitely. I hear just on the last week's interview, I was interviewing Deems, who's from Amsterdam, and he keeps on telling me, like, he's like, the market, the industry, everything is going to the Asian market right now. There's like the cities, like the size of the cities are just ginormous in comparison to what it's like over here. And he said there's just the volume of people, and especially in our demographic, like our kind of age range. Do you find that? Do you find there's a lot of people out there, like when you're doing events and stuff like that, or just even on the streets in general, it's like very populated?
I mean, most definitely. One of the frustrations of maybe of being a Canadian artist was when you tour, you kind of have to travel a long ways to get from one city center to the next.
Yeah.
But what is really nice now with Singapore is that it's really in the center of Southeast Asia. So for me to go to Thailand, to Japan, to Cambodia, to Indonesia, to Malaysia, I mean, that's a $60 flight, and it's an hour flight, you know?
What?
Yeah.
That's
so you're
pretty
hitting
cool.
These crazy populations in very in an independent artist budget, and really reaching out to different cultures.
That's neat. That's cool. $60 for a plane ticket, and it's an hour away. That's crazy.
I mean, you got to buy ahead of time. Last minute, maybe $100.
Still, that's much better than it is over here. I know. I was hearing about that, and also, like, I don't know, just their whole transportation. They've got like faster trains and everything like that over there, so it's different.
Most definitely. I was just in Shanghai, and they have a maglev there, which is like the world's fastest train. And so I pulled out my phone to Instagram it, and by the time I pulled out the phone, I had already reached the airport. It's like, whoa, what a trip. But, I mean, when I touched down here, I registered a company. My company is called Shiny Money. And basically my aim was to kind of link the markets of North America. And, of course, my bias is toward Ontario because that's the hood. But to link these markets, because a lot of people underestimate how much of a culture shock it can be, having the connections, knowing how to deal with promoters and venue owners correctly on this side. So for me, Shiny Money was a way to link, like, you know, anyone outside of here with that shiny money.
I like it. That's smart. That's wise. You need somebody. You need the in-between person. You need the person who knows the culture and then can be the kind of like I don't know, the voice in between, the voice that actually knows what to say and how to say it.
And I think what's important is that, I mean, on this side, because the populations are so large, artistry gets really lost in the mix because corporates are running everything. So if you have a representative that is really, that is an artist, that is looking on the perspective of an artist, then your best interests are probably cared for a little better.
Definitely. No, that's a big approach that I take to the company that I run up here, Revolution Media, which is just like we put on shows and events, and I do it from a standpoint of like, I know what it's like being an artist on a show, so I want to make sure that the shows are catered towards the artists and that they're taken care of in a way that they've got everything set up the way that it should be. Yeah,
man, most definitely.
Definitely.
I think culturally and traditionally, music, art, visual art, these kind of walks of life are not seen as a profession. the traditional route. I mean, if anyone out there's got like Chinese parents, it's like you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, or an architect. And I graduated as an architect, so I felt at least I made the parents happy. But now slowly the things are changing, and they're seeing these. If artists can conduct themselves in a professional manner, hustle their business in a professional manner, then yeah, you're slowly kind of building the reputation that it can be a profession.
Mm-hmm. Well, how much do you think that going to school and doing that, going to school for architecture and stuff, has helped you on the business end of things and dealing with people?
I think hustle, you're kind of born with hustle. Either you want to hustle or you don't. You know what I mean? Like, you're either willing to like take 3 hours a night to sleep and just keep going and be happy about it. But I think what school did teach me was how to write documents for corporates to read. So there's definitely a language, the type of vocabulary you choose, the format, the title, how you present something. All of these things do really matter, and I think I really learned that side of the things, that side of things from school.
For sure. What do you think? Have you got into any sort of architecture and stuff like that? Like, I'm kind of intrigued now that I didn't know this about you, and do you have any thoughts of doing that in the future, or is it kind of like you were just like, yo, found music?
Well, I can say that, for hip-hop, when they say respect the architects, I can actually claim it.
I like that.
Respect the architect, yo. But I right now, we just took over a space. I'm going to build kind of like I run an event here called Singapore a Dub Club. So we're kind of revamping the space to look like basically a Rasta clubhouse. And I'm kind of designing the interiors for the studio and that kind of thing. So that's probably as far as I've used my architecture degree so far.
That's cool, though, getting a chance to be creative in the design process.
Yeah, man. And I mean, when I stroll through a city, I'm very knowledgeable about architecture history. Like, oh, that was built in 1865. That's called a Doric column. But, yeah, whatever.
That's kind of fun, though, still. And I'm sure you getting a chance to do the music that you do. You've had a chance to travel around a lot and see all sorts of different architecture. And I know just for the pictures, like you said, it's this culture shock probably to be there yourself. But just seeing the pictures that I see of different big cities over there in Asia, it's just like I'm mind boggled at some of these buildings, like the size of them and just the shapes of them, and it looks really cool.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's Babylon for real out here, but there's good and bad. Like when you have I guess progress and the city moving, the cosmopolitan life moving so fast consistently, there's always going to be a pocket of people that feel disenfranchised, a pocket of people that want to feel creativity, that want to feel connected to something, to be connected to a musical community. And that's where like music comes in, because it soothes the soul. And I think that it plays a major role in as a contrast to how fast these cities are growing.
For sure. I'm sure. Also, I was talking to Deems just about the political nature of how things are in those countries, and just like even in China, how I guess they had like everything from the outside world is kind of like banned in there. They don't have the regular access to like the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. They all have their own separate stuff there. And also kind of how the music would then reflect that kind of oppression from the political powers. Like, have you experienced that a little bit in your travels on that side of things?
I find that I kind of had the concept of China in a stereotype. I thought it was really closed off. But when I was touring China, I was totally floored at how progressive the thought was, how amazing a lot of the music and how progressive a lot of the music that's coming out there, especially hip-hop, and you see reggae sound systems coming up now. I think that the major issue is more that the history of hip-hop and the history of reggae has never been translated into Chinese.
Okay.
So the only thing that they're really working off of is like a picture of Bob Marley.
Mm-hmm.
So then reggae is only Bob Marley sitting in a yard. I mean? Like, they don't know about King Tubby and Cops and Dodds. And, hip-hop is only maybe like, I don't know, maybe 50 Cent posing off in front of something. But they don't know about everything else. They don't know about more details,
Mm-hmm.
So now you have these more progressive younger Chinese generation coming up that have traveled are very international and are translating the histories of this music into Chinese. And you have kind of this really exciting time where people's minds and creativities and imaginations are being ignited because now they understand where it came from and they understand the potential of where it can go. I spent New Year's Eve standing watching Sly and Robbie playing for 100,000 people in Guangzhou and them telling them to pull your lighter up, you know?
That's dope. That's dope. That is mad dope. And that's the world.
The irony is that when people got too hype and they started dancing really crazy, out of nowhere security came and told them they were only allowed to dance at their seats.
That would never happen over here. That's it's like the polite way to party.
Yeah, very polite, very polite. But, I mean, Southeast Asia is a totally different ball game from China completely, and a lot of the countries are a less conservative culture as well.
That's cool. See, I know there's so many misconceptions in stereotypes and in how people view different parts of the world. You have to really be there and meet the people and talk to people to be able to experience it.
Yo, I'm ready when you're ready. Come over, man. Roll.
I'm ready. I want to. I was talking to Deeps and I'm like, okay, so that's the spot really. Like, I need to, he's like, go. He's like, you got to go. And every time I talk to him, it makes me more and more, convinced that's the spot to go. And now you're just like, yeah, that's the spot. I need to see it. I need to see it.
I'm starting to see that anything is possible, like, okay, in March, I'm running something called the Bintan Dub Club. And I kind of made this international invite to all of my industry contacts, all my creatives around the world to meet on this island called Bintan Island. And basically, to me, there's nothing better than face-to-face contact. If you want to meet promoters, if you want to meet artists, if you want to just get to know what it's like and how to break into these markets, just show up. So that's my concept. And I don't like industry conferences and dry rooms and that kind of thing. So why not just meet on an island by the beach, sip a Mai Tai, listen to a sound system, and get to know people.
I like it. That's a really good idea. I would be down with that. I saw your little video where you were like introducing it. And I'm like, this is a wicked idea. I'm like, I love seeing artists think outside of the box, you know what I mean? And kind of come up with different concepts to do exactly like what you're saying, is bring people together and being that glue, that connecting factor to get things happening.
Yeah, man. I think what's exciting is that, you have something like Toronto or New York art scene where we're a little bit spoiled because it's so well developed and there's such diversity in it. But a lot of the kind of gatekeepers are already in place. But you have places in Southeast Asia where it's wide open for the taking. So anything is possible. So you can make up something like Bintan Dub Club and say roll, and it's possible, and you're allowed to do these things.
That's true. That's very true. It's almost like a very saturated market out over here with so many artists and like you said, the people holding the gate keys. And if you don't know the right people and you're not in the right circles, it's really hard to get your foot in the door, to get onto big tours or big shows or even just getting anything done really. And with
not to say it's not the same
wow.
thing. I mean, it's the same thing over here, but I mean, there's ways around it. And on this side, everyone dreams of one day we can play in Toronto or New York. It's the American dream out here, you've made it if you play on that side. And on the flip side, everyone on that side is like, yo, we're going to be big in Asia. So it's a matter of really bringing together the best possible situation for both sides.
For sure. That's funny. People just want to go to the next place to be like, yes, I'm going to find my big break there. But even you never really know where your music's going to connect to people or your type of craft. I know just listening to some podcasts, there was this one comedian, I think he's from somewhere in the States, but he tours in Australia permanently. He lives there pretty much because he started going there a few times and they love him out there. He can't get booked in the States or in Canada or in Europe or whatever, but he just kills it in Australia for some reason. So he found his kind of niche market. And I think for every artist out there, they might have that if they just go there and find out.
Yep, it's true. I mean, the Sugar Man effect, I guess, Before I came back to Southeast Asia, my biggest fan base on Facebook, on my Facebook fan page, was Malaysia and Indonesia. but I had never come back for maybe 15 years.
That's crazy. That's cool that you were able to look into those analytics and be like, hey, you know what? I think I might need to go hit that.
That's schooling, son. That's that schooling, homie.
Yeah.
Stay in school, kids.
That's good though. So now you've got a chance to be down there. You're fairly close to those places now?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, if I want to go to Malaysia, it's a 30-minute drive from Singapore. And if I'm going, Bintan is part of Indonesia, it's like I hop on a boat and it's an hour and 30 minutes on a boat.
Wow.
So it's very accessible. It's easier than Toronto to Vancouver, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a crazy one. I've done that drive a few times.
But don't get me wrong. I mean, like, I've driven in a van across Canada and toured, and I love it, and I miss Toronto every single day.
Yeah, Toronto's nice. It's a nice place to be, and it's just the energy. But I mean, if you can be where your core fan base is and get a chance to perform and do what you love, I mean, that's got to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, most definitely.
Do you have any plans of coming back up here though anytime soon?
Yeah, actually, I'm looking to come up in April.
Okay.
So I'm speaking to some people about some shows, and I mean, I have them on the West Coast, but I'm trying to get back to the East Coast because I miss it, and I miss Jamaica too. So I'm trying to get back.
I feel it. Well, if you do come to this area, you got to let me know. I would love to book you here in Guelph and maybe even a couple other cities if we can get you in them.
I miss Guelph. Guelph has the most jump-up people, I swear. It's the best crowd. People are so expressive in Guelph.
Definitely. We just had J. the Damager here on the weekend. It was super live. Yeah.
Crazy. I was in a random bar in Berlin, and all of a sudden I saw J. I'm like, yo, are you J. the Damager? What are you doing? Just chilling at a bar in Berlin. He's like, sure, want a beer?
He's hilarious. That's like his stomping grounds. He said he's like Berlin, man. He's like, that's where I'm staying at. Like he's like, I'm pretty much living there. Yeah, he's living there. Yeah, no, he's there all the time. Yeah, Germany and all around that area. He's touring. He just said that he was heading out there to go stay for about 8 months, just traveling around.
Dope. I mean, I think that for any artists that are interested to coming out to Southeast Asia, they should just put in some homework in, like start getting your music out here first before, like, don't think you're going to show up and be a pimp, get your music out here, find things circulating, find the communities that would gravitate toward your thing, and start doing your research before you just show up.
What, in your opinion, is like one of the best avenues for trying to get your music into that market? Like, what kind of websites or what kind of places would people go to be able to get their music into the right ears so people can hear it in that area? Oh gosh, I mean, that's a tough call. I mean, I'm kind of contradicting myself. One is just showing up. Yeah.
Two is just having enough creativity. Whether it's in your style, the uniqueness of your music, it really makes a huge difference, because everything on this side is like, whoa, that's super foreign,
Mm-hmm.
And they're very interested in these things. I mean, the usual venues, the YouTubes, the Facebooks, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's important to identify people that you can connect with out here, and maybe send a personal tweet to the person, or a personal email, or not just like a yo guy, check out my mixtape kind of email, but just like, This is what I'm interested about what you do. Just don't send the equivalent of like, yo, I got a hot 16, let me spit in your ear. Like that not really make it.
Honestly, preach this some more. Masia One, say it louder. The amount of emails and the amount of just random Facebook messages I get on a daily basis. Yo, check my stuff. Or it's just like, not even check my stuff. They're just dropping links and not even saying anything. I'm like, yo, what? You expect me to look at this? Come on.
Yo, Virgin. But flip that, and I'm a female in the industry, so what I get is like, yo ma, you look nice still. Now check my hot 16. Maybe I'll let you collabo with me. It's like, yo, son, get the hell out of here.
No good. What's that like being? Honestly, though, like, I know it really in this industry. One of my main partners here in Guelph that I rhyme with, her name's Molly Gruesome, and she always comes out to the shows. And she, you know Molly, she was on the radio show before when we interviewed you, and she's like, every time we go to a show, she's pretty much the only female MC rocking it. You know what I mean? In a lot of places that we do it at. And so what's that like for yourself in that area? Is it kind of the same situation? Is there any other females that are really doing it, MCing and doing that kind of lifestyle? Or is it like the similar status to how it is over here? What's that like?
I think there are actually a lot of females MCs, but a lot of them are very shy, and they haven't had someone to kind of break that ice. There's definitely a lot of singers. You have someone like Yuna coming out of Malaysia that's doing it internationally, and she's from Southeast Asia as well. But I think that really it's just a matter of pressure here. Like after you're 22, you know, your hip-hop or music or art or whatever it is considered a hobby.
Yeah.
So once you become a quote-unquote adult, it's not seen as a profession. So everyone starts dropping like flies after a certain age. So it's more a matter of them seeing that, like, I've been doing this my whole life. This is my job. I take it very seriously. It's my career. So I think it's more a matter of that. It's not a matter of, like, a lack of representation in the cipher. But after a certain age and a level of professionalism, it's just not there. But socially, it's just socially not acceptable, or it hasn't been taught to be socially acceptable to be an MC as a profession.
I'm sure it's even harder there, like for women to kind of step out and be like, "Yo, this is what I want to do," especially in a culture where, like you said, the parents are like doctor, architect, lawyer. You know.
I got Chinese New Year coming up in a few days, and like Chinese New Year meetings are like, okay, where's the babies? Where's the professional job? I'm like, whoa, son, hold on.
That's funny. When's the marriage happening?
Yeah. Well, you know, keep those Yo-san emails happening on Facebook. But, I mean, it's cool. It's also, I think, for the hustle of artists, for them to realize that they have something to bring to the table, not presenting yourself as, like, what can you do for me? But it's like, this is how we can benefit one another.
Yes.
And that is a lot more attractive to a promoter.
That's my biggest thing, yeah.
And being culturally aware. I mean, okay, Chinese New Year is coming up in a couple of days, you know. And for me, I'm dropping a single called 8885. So 88 in Chinese culture is like super lucky, auspicious. It brings you money, blah, blah, blah. So dropping a single that's talking about like the 88, like how that's an auspicious number. And just doing things that are culturally aware. And you never know, because that really does click with people. They relate to it. I remember Christina Milian dropped a song called AM to PM or something like that. And it was never a big hit in America, but it was a huge success in Japan, and no one ever knew why. And you start to realize that there are no 7-Elevens in Tokyo. They're all AM PM. So everyone thought she was like, everyone's relating to the fact that they're AM PM. Like the corner store AM PM, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why it hit.
Wow.
And so you never know when culturally something really relates to a population because of these little details and these little niche markets.
Wow, that's a trip right there. AM, PM.
Yeah, man. They thought, I mean, that's where when people, like, you know, were partying and they were just a little drunk, and that's where they ended up crashing they would go to the AM, PM. So they're like, oh, sweet, we love this song. It's about our AM, PM.
Yeah, everybody goes there. That's funny. Maybe I should make like a 7-Eleven song over here. See if it smashes.
No, man, 7-Eleven can go on, you know. I mean, that's an international vibe right there. Just, you know, call them for the sponsorship. Right, that pitch.
Max Milk. I'm doing it. Max Milk. Hasty Market. Shout out.
So shout them all out.
We'll just do a whole convenience store rap. There we go. That'll be good. And we'll do a chocolate bar rap too. We can do Kit Kats and all that. That's funny.
Yes, man. They got like blueberry cheesecake Kit Kats in Japan, you know.
What?
Yeah, man. Blueberry cheesecake. They play in a Kit Kat form.
I need to try this. Wow, that's something next level. Why don't we get that stuff here? They got futuristic trains and planes. Now they got futuristic food. Come on now.
It's a different world, man. It's a different world. The thing that I do miss about living in Canada, actually, is that you have first of all, how clean the water and the air and everything is. Like, the air out here can get grimy. I'm not kidding when I say Babylon, for real.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, people wearing masks and stuff.
Yeah, but when you have that space and time in life and that healthier lifestyle to think, then it creates a different style of art and a different style of music altogether. Mm-hmm. So really, like, hone in on the uniqueness of that. Like, someone living in Guelph is making a type of music from the type of life that they're living that you would never get out here.
Yeah.
And people kind of don't realize that there's great value in that, too.
You gotta love where you're at.
Yeah, gotta love where you're at.
That's not... You know, you gotta know where you're at, and you know, and love and appreciate it. Definitely, I want to travel to where you're at, but you know what, Guelph is awesome. I gotta say, every time I leave, I'm super happy to be back here. What do you got planned coming as far as music projects and stuff like that? Is there any new material that's going to be released? Or I saw that you were shooting a video. When's that coming out and stuff like that?
Oh my gosh. It's been nonstop. I've been feeling like I've been on the hustle, on the event promotion too much, and not enough creation, you know? So I have two EPs actually, that are already recorded, just not released. One of them was recorded with Dubtonic Crew and recorded in Tough Gong Studios in Jamaica. And that one's been a long time coming to be released. So we're working on pushing that out this year. I've been talking to VP. I released a single called Ex-Boyfriend off of VP Records. So we're trying to push out the rest of the record that way. And it's a live band record. And then secondly, I'm out here in Southeast Asia recording a different style of music. It's a faster pace of life, and it's a different reflection. And it's also me reflecting on my heritage, where I was born. So we're putting out a single from it for Chinese New Year on February 25th.
Nice.
Which culturally is the day of Chinese New Year, the 7th day of Chinese New Year, where it's considered everybody's birthday. So on that day, it's everybody's birthday.
Wicked.
Like, internationally, it's just you get to celebrate your birthday twice a year, unless your birthday is on that day. So on everybody's birthday for Chinese New Year, I'm just going to drop a single as a gift because it's everyone's birthday, so happy birthday.
Nice. I like it. That's awesome.
Man. So we're dropping a single for everybody's birthday. And I hollered at the homies A4 Radio out in Kuala Lumpur, and they're like, yo, let's do a video for it. So boom, things move very fast here. We're going to do a video. I'm flying there in a couple hours. And we'll have the video out by the 25th.
Wow, that's what it is. Awesome. Much respects, yo. I got to get off the air here. Chinese Showbox actually is coming in next. They do the next show here. But one thing I wanted to ask you just before we get off the air, on your SoundCloud there, you got that track Everybody that you won the best collaboration award for.
Yeah.
With Pharrell and Game. How did that all come together?
Well, I was blessed to work with a producer named Che Vicious, who now works for Kanye's Good Music. And at the time, he just kind of pulled some strings and he let them listen to my music. They said they were down and they jumped on the track. I still can't believe it to this day.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's cool. That's awesome how it happens. It just all comes together and you just keep believing and doing what you do.
Yeah, man. I'm an 8-year-old kid from Singapore that fell in love with hip-hop, came to Toronto, started grabbing open mics, and next thing I know, I'm on a track with Pharrell in the game. So life is blessed. I can't ask for more.
Word up. Much respect. Masia One, thank you so much. Online, where can people check you out? Where's the best link?
Masiaone. So Masia One everything. Google it. For videos, for Facebook, for my website, MasiaOne.com. Don't worry, I'm easy to find.